Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Wilhelm Scream, and welcome back to the channel for more Destiny 2 news and intel. And today is a pretty big day in the Destiny 2 universe, as not only is it a normal reset day, but we also have the launch of Revenant Act 2, and with it, the return of Prison of Elders in the form of the newly revamped Tomb of Elders, which I think will be a pretty unique activity, even though we kind of have a lot of stuff like Tomb of Elders or have in previous seasons. I think just the aesthetic, the nostalgia, and, well, maybe a little bit of mechanic might play into its uniqueness, or at least I hope it will. Let me know if you've been enjoying Tomb of Elders so far, if you've had a chance to play it in the comments section down below. Remember, any comment will give you another entry into the next giveaway on this YouTube channel. We do one every 1,000 subscribers for this video. You can also stick around till the end for that secret hashtag, or like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on the bell, the post notifications. But I thought, I usually don't do weekly reset videos, or at least I don't do them that often, but because we do have a launch of an act today, and there are a few glitches of note that were not patched, and we got some really excellent loot from some of the lesser, let's call it, giving sources over the past year, that I would talk about some of the things that for solo players are going to be pivotal this week. So to start off, of course, we have our new activity. We head over to the directory through the Lost City. We have the Tomb of Elders, and then we have the Tomb of Elders on Contest, or Contest of Elders. So if you're looking for some new loot, possibly some good mats, I think this is going to be a really good farm to do it. The Tonics are also going to be, I think, a big part of the Tomb of Elders. I haven't really found myself needing to use them that much, except for maybe Vespers Host, just to give myself a little bit of damage boost. But as far as rewards now, I think it's going to be a little bit more prevalent. If you're somebody who needs some exotic ciphers or Ascendant Alloy or Ascendant Shards, the exotic tonics, which you can get from just turning in a bunch of legendary tonics, and you'll get one as a random drop, are going to be, I think, really are going to find some real use in the Prison of Elders or Contest of Elders, because you'll be able to farm out things like exotic ciphers, which we've never really been able to do up until now. So the tonics finally, I think, are finding the use that I want. Probably not the first use, but certainly the first use for myself, other than giving myself that bit of a damage boost. But let me know if you've been using the tonics for anything else, other than maybe just getting some more rewards. But I think when you can focus on something like an endgame mat, which are really hard to come by in terms of farming methods, other than just, spending other mats, I think it's going to be something very useful. So let me know if that's something you're going to be doing over the course of the next week. Over in the tower, you've probably seen a video on this already by somebody else, as this has kind of been talked about since Bungie announced it. But if you head over to Banshee 44, you will have some very good god rolls to pick up. Now, these are rolls that, because of perk weighting or roll weighting, whatever you wanted to call it, the big scandal a few weeks ago that was sussed out by Destiny player base. The Destiny player base actually figured out that this was going on, not Bungie itself, which is interesting. But essentially, perks that were not dropping on certain weapons are now being given through Banshee 44. So these are some of the weapons that everybody wanted, that nobody was able to get the exact rolls on, or they were very rare. So just a few examples, because I went over and picked these up myself. I have a couple of them on my character. If you're looking for an Indebted Kindness, which is normally only available through the Warlord's Ruin dungeon, you can get one with Volt Shot. Loose Change, not really the perk that I would have thought would have been the god roll. In my opinion, the Volt Shot with the beacon rounds would actually be the god roll of god rolls. So I'm not totally sure why they gave us this one. But Volt Shot is still a great perk. So pick this up if you don't have it. Again, it's just available at Banshee 44. We also have things like the VS Chill Inhibitor available through Vesper's Host. Now, this is one of those weapons that's available through the first encounter, and we're going to talk about this a little bit more after I run through some of the other roles, because there is something that every solo player, or really any player, needs to be doing this week, hopefully next week, but definitely for this week in terms of farming out Vesper's Host. But this one is being sold with Envious Arsenal and Bait and Switch. Apparently, that's the DPS god roll. Personally, I don't think that that is a god roll at all. I think Bait and Switch is a good perk, but I would personally like something more like Explosive Light and Cascade Point. And this is actually a roll I got from Vesper's Host just today since reset. I don't know why or who decides what's the best role, but though I will say this is probably a really good role for endgame DPS, you're not going to find much of a use for it outside of DPSing a boss. So if you're a solo player and you're looking for something versatile that you can take into things like a Nightfall or a dungeon, this is not the role you want. You want something that helps with survivability and helps with ad clear, and can do decent boss damage, which grenade launchers are going to do, because grenade launchers got a buff when it comes to that. So any grenade launcher is going to do more damage. Certainly this one, specifically for a boss, if you're in a group like a raid or a dungeon, you have a full team, or maybe even a GM Nightfall, and you're not solo, yes, use this one. Otherwise, I don't know. I think Bungie lied a little bit on that one. Or at least I don't know who's deciding these things, but sometimes I agree with them, sometimes I don't. We also have a Rose with Slide Shot and Explosive Payload. Apparently that's the god roll for PvP on this weapon. Can't imagine really using this in PvE, so definitely a PvP-focused weapon with the Rose. We also have a Multi-Mac CCX with Attrition Orbs and Kinetic Tremors. This is a very good PvE roll, so I will agree that this one is worth picking up, especially right now, because it plays into the champion meta. There was also a, I believe, shotgun for sale, which is heavily PvP focused. I believe it was from a seasonal event. I can't remember exactly which one it was, but it's now sitting safely in my vault. I actually filled up my vault today for the second time since the final shape actually launched. Yay. I guess I got to go through and delete some exotics. But pick these up if you don't have them. I know for solo players, even if this isn't the god roll of god rolls, in my opinion, it's a great weapon to have. And Volt Shot is just one of the best perks that you can get on anything arc. And the sidearms, the rocket sidearms, are just so good at the moment. I love my aberrant action, even though it's not really in the burns for this season. But still, a great weapon. So pick them up if you don't have them. And now we're going to talk about the big thing this week, or at least one of the big things. We'll talk about two of the big things. There's two big things this week. One, if you're looking to run out Nightfalls or GM Nightfalls, we also have the GM node available for the first time, so you can actually select the Nightfall that you want. Remember, once you complete them, they are gone from the node select. So if there's a particular weapon that you want to farm out, maybe wait. If there's a really easy strike, just save your easy ones for the day that you want to farm that weapon. This week's weapon is the Wild Style Grenade Launcher, which isn't bad. I think it's gotten some upgraded perks. I heard that it was somewhat meta at the moment. The weekly Nightfall, or GM Nightfall, for this week is the Birthplace of the Vial. Now, I will have a video coming out about all the glitches and cheeses that you can use in this particular strike as a solo player or in a group, probably tomorrow. there are some good ones. There's a good one for the boss. There's some really easy parts that let you skip through the middle sections a whole lot easier. So keep an eye out for that. I'll make sure to get it up as quickly as possible. But the big thing, the real big thing that I want to talk about is the Vespers host dungeon. Now, if you saw my last video, I might have been a little alarmist when it came to what I thought Bungie was going to do for this week, which is because Vespers host is now awarding double loot for the next 2 weeks. I believe this was also because of perk waiting and people not being able to get the chill inhibitor, or at least not the role that they want, that they're doubling up on the loot. This also, I think, counts towards Artifice armor, though I only got one piece of Artifice armor when I did this on Master difficulty. So that might be only really geared towards weapons, the double loot. But in any case, it doesn't really matter. I would say if you're somebody who is just looking for weapons, though, no reason to farm this out on the Master difficulty, because you're going to get double loot regardless if you do this on normal or Master. Master just adds the Artifice armor in. So if you're a solo player, this is the farm you want to be doing this week because it's double loot, double rewards, and the glitch for the first encounter has not been patched. I thought it was going to be patched. Bungie always does it where they give you double loot right after they patch the glitch that allows you to farm it really easily. Hasn't been patched. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can look at my last video or anything that I've covered on Vespers host over the past month or so. But essentially, they did patch the glitch that let you skip to the first encounter, but they did not patch the glitch that let you skip the first encounter itself. So if you're a solo player, getting through to the first encounter on normal is actually very easily done. I mean, you can jump through that section in a matter of 2 minutes to get to the first encounter. If you're on Master, it can take maybe 5 minutes, probably not that long, especially if you're in a group, but as a solo player, maybe max 5 minutes to get to the first encounter. But once you're at the first encounter, all you need to do is the same out of bounds glitch where you start the encounter, jump out of bounds, go into the next area, which we'll call encounter 1.5, where you have to deposit the 5 bombs. Deposit 3 of the 5 bombs in that area. It counts towards the first encounter. The first encounter auto completes and you get the double loot from it. You then just have to reset the dungeon and go through that first little preamble area again to get to the first encounter, and then you can just repeat this process over and over and over again. And of course, if you are with at least one other player, you can just save the checkpoint on the first encounter so that you don't have to do that first part. So that's probably helpful when it comes to Master. But even as a solo player, doing this on Master and just getting through that first phase and doing the second phase, it really is not that much different. The only part that you're going to have any more trouble with is that first area. The only place you're going to see really a difference between Master and normal in the time there. But because this glitch has not been patched, this week, Vespers host is the best farm in the game, bar none. And if it's not patched next week, it's also going to be the best farm in the game. So do this while the glitch still works. It will not be patched this week, I am sure. These things only get patched usually on, the weekly reset when there's an update. Occasionally there's been some sort of midweek patch, but I don't think it's going to happen. Not like this, not right now. So enjoy that farm while you can. Hopefully you enjoy all the other farms available this week. Let me know if any of those things that I mentioned you're going to be doing in the comment section down below. Remember, any comment will also give you another entry into the next giveaway. Hopefully you found something in this video helpful as far as information is concerned. If you've watched till this point in the video, you can leave a hashtag Revenant Act 2 or a hashtag Revenant. I'll take either one. Or a hashtag The Final Shape, or a hashtag Vespers Host, or a hashtag Birthplace of the Vile, or any of the other things we might have mentioned. Hashtag Tomb of Elders. Gotta love that. In the comment section down below for another entry into the next giveaway for this video. Hopefully everybody enjoys farming. Best to all my solo players out there. And of course, I am Wilhelm Scream. We will see you next time. Look out tomorrow for the GM video.